This is your teaching video for January 5th and 6th. We started the class off with good things, and the video will pick up with following good things. We did some announcements and expectation setting for second semester. For the next at least 2 weeks, it's going to be mostly independent, and we won't have Zoom class again until January 20th and 21st, I think are those the A day, B day. So for you guys, it would be the 21st. But I wanted to go over a couple things because I think there was some confusion with expectations and assignments and stuff. And so I want to just make sure everybody understands what's going on, and so there's no questions. Whether I'm here or not, or whether we have live Zoom or not, there will be something posted in the Canvas assignment, even if it's instructions that just say, hey, work on what we started last class period, or here's a new assignment, let me know if you have any questions with it, with the teaching video. There will be something every class period, okay? You guys that are here, it's easy because you have this time carved out, you're sitting here, you log in, you know what to do, but you guys that are at home, I know it can be tough to be disciplined enough to log in, especially first class of the day, and set aside this time to do what's in Canvas. But I really strongly suggest you try to get in the habit of doing that, because this is the time to do that work. All of the stuff I post, I try not to put so much that you can't complete it in the class time. So it's really in your best interest, and you'll keep up with it best if you go ahead and log in, check the Canvas every single day that you're supposed to have class, and read the instructions and do what's there. That way, you know, too, if you have any questions, you can get them to me right away, and you can help stay current with what you're doing. Because if you wait till the end of the semester and try to do 9 weeks worth of work in 2 days, it doesn't work. It just doesn't. So there will always be an assignment or instructions. And we have, actually, it's less than 21 class periods. When I counted again last night, it was only like 19 class periods between now and 9 weeks exams. So that's not, it sounds like a lot, but it'll go fast. So just make sure you're keeping up with your stuff. I'm also going to be putting due dates on assignments. That doesn't mean I won't accept late work, because I will, but I thought I was doing you guys a favor by not putting a due date last semester, so that you would know you had time to do it. But I don't think I was really doing any favors, because then it was easy to just not do it at all. So I'm going to have due dates, and assignments will lock 48 hours after that due date. But that doesn't mean if you miss something, or you weren't able to get something completed and it locks, don't just say, oh, well, I'm going to take a 0 on it. Let me know. I'll work with you to get it done. I'll extend that. But I want you to keep up with it and contact me and talk to me about what's going on. Okay. Any questions about that? Does that make sense as far as reasonable expectations? So a couple of you, oh wait, no, that's not what I want to say. No, I'll say this first. Okay. So as you know, with English 2, one of our big skills or things that we're working on is studying argumentative texts, right? We're trying to write argumentatively, persuasively. We read texts that are persuasive and try to analyze the author's message and their evidence and reasons. And so over the next 4 class periods, we're doing a little unit on comparing argumentative texts. You're going to read some paragraphs and decide if the author was writing it in support of an issue or against an issue. If you're in support of something, you're going to use different language than you would use if you were against it. If I was trying to convince Michelle that we need longer lunch periods, I would say different kinds of things to her than if I was trying to convince her to shorten lunch periods, right? That makes sense. I would talk about how it would improve lives, how it would make things better, all the benefits. If I was trying to convince her that we should shorten it, I would use words that why the longer lunch period is impacting us negatively, or I would just use different language. And so what we want to do is, as we're reading something, we want to pay attention to the words that jump out at us, whether something is for or against an issue. So we're going to read an article that's for an issue. We're going to read an article that's against it, look for the main ideas, and then we're going to write about those ideas and compare them. So those are the kind of steps over the next 4 class periods. I've gone ahead and opened up all those steps in Canvas. So all of the assignments between now and January 19th are open. And I've pasted it to show you what you could, if you wanted to just do it chunk by chunk by chunk each class period, what that should look like. But if you finish one assignment and you've got time that class period and you want to work ahead, that's fine. That's why I went ahead and opened them all up. Okay. So the instructions, and so there are instructions each day. If you're going to pace it out that way to do it little by little, what you should do each class period to keep up with it. Does that sound okay? Does that make sense? So they're all open and they're all due by January 19th. Okay. And then I'll be back in class and we'll have Zoom on January 20th and 21st, those 2 class periods. Any questions about that? You guys on Zoom, are you still with me? Does that sound okay? Does that make sense? Okay, I see thumbs up. Awesome, thank you. All right. Nearly everybody in this class did the essay as part of your semester exam. You took the exam and did the essay. I have a small handful, a couple of you who did not do that essay as part of the exam. And you're going to need to actually do that essay part, not to make up any grade for last semester, but because the exam grade is a major grade for this semester. And so if you are someone who I don't have an essay for, I went ahead and made an assignment yesterday and sent it, like assigned it to you. So if you have an essay, an assignment called Argumentative Essay, you need to do this. You need to go ahead and do that for me, okay? Because that's a major grade for this semester. And I've given you a couple weeks to get that done, but I need you to please do that. If you're not sure if that's you, feel free to send me an inbox message and ask. For those of you that did already write the semester grade, I'm almost done grading those, or the semester essay, I'm almost done grading those, and those will show up in Skyward probably. Today is Wednesday. My goal is to get them done by Friday as a major grade, okay? And so, and overall, I just want to say I was super, super, super happy with your argumentative essays. They were really, really good. You guys seem to have a good handle on the persuasive tone, and I was really, really pleased. You guys are well on track to do well for EOC. So, okay. Any questions? No? Do you like the kitty and the tie? I do. Thanks. All right. So for our lesson today, so we are going to get our first grade out of the way today. We are going to do what's called a quick write. So if you could, on your computer or device, whatever you're working on, if you want to do it good old-fashioned pen and paper, that's fine too. Get a blank, something that you can type or write on. And it can be a Google Doc or a Word doc or a notepad. It doesn't matter what format that you're typing on. So when we do timed writings like this, and sometimes I'll be able to be here and we'll do them live, but sometimes you'll be watching a video and it'll say, pause this video or write for 30 seconds. Try to stay within that time frame, and we'll talk about what the benefit of doing quick writes are after we do this little activity. But these are really designed to only take the little time frame that we're carving out of class to do them. Okay, so before we start though, I want to ask you, if I said to you to bear this in mind, or I said, hey, bear in mind, we have 2 weeks till the test. What do I mean when I say bear in mind? What does that idiom mean, bear in mind? Yeah, keep it in mind, remember it, kind of same thing, right? So if someone tells you to bear in mind, they're saying, keep this in your mind, remember this, think about this, okay? And the word resolution. What is a resolution? Or what does resolution mean?
Kind of depends text
Mhm.
because there's like New Year's resolutions where it's like goals that you set for yourself.
Yeah.
But in like literature, resolution would be like the ending, like how everything is like
Yeah.
solved.
Very good. So a resolution in literature, when we're studying a plot, the resolution is the ending. How did this end up? How was this solved? But if we're talking about like a New Year's resolution, it's a goal or it's something that you have decided is going to happen. Okay, it's a decision to do something. So for our context today, we're going to use resolution in the sense of it's a decision to do something. And as we said, bear in mind means keep this in mind, think about this, remember. All right, I wanted to point out those two terms because what I'd like you to do for 30 seconds, I want you to just think. And sometimes this is hard to do when we know we have a writing assignment, to just take a minute and think. But I want you to think about the following quote, and it's from Abraham Lincoln. It says, "Always bear in mind that your own resolution to succeed is more important than any one thing." So always bear in mind, always remember that your own determination, your own decision to succeed is more important than any one thing. I just want you to think about that for a few seconds. Okay. So now on your blank document that you've opened up, I'm gonna set a timer for 90 seconds and I just want you to write about that. What do you think Abraham Lincoln meant when he said, always bear in mind that your own resolution to succeed is more important than any one thing? So go ahead and start typing. About 20 more seconds. Okay, so finish up whatever sentence you're on. Okay, so we've been given a quote to think about. We've thought about it and written about it. Now, I want you to think about your opinion on this question. Can a person with little natural talents be successful because of hard work? And why or why not? So just think for a few seconds. Can a person with little natural talents, meaning they're not naturally good at things, be successful because of hard work? How would you answer that? Why or why not? So a couple seconds, then we'll start writing. Okay, so skip a line on your document. So don't keep writing right over where you left off. Drop down to the next line and go ahead and start writing how you would answer your opinion on can a person with little natural talents be successful because of hard work? Twenty more seconds. Okay. Finish up whatever sentence you're on. Okay, so I put a picture up on the screen. So what's going on in this picture? What, somebody just call out, what do you see happening in this picture? I know it's hard to see, that's why we're talking about it, and I'm not just.
It's a child.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a small child, he's bent over and he's trying to lift a barbell, a set of weights. And so does the barbell look like something he's gonna be able to lift? No. Okay, so it's a big heavy barbell, small child trying to lift it. So just look at that for a couple seconds, think about what's going on there, think about how he's feeling, think about what's may have prompted him to walk over to that set of weights. And we're going to skip a line on our document, and we're going to write about our thoughts on that picture as it relates to the quote. So we have the picture and we have our quote. Always bear in mind that your own resolution to succeed is more important than any one thing. So you're just going to kind of free write about a connection that you can make between the picture and the quote. Okay, so you can go ahead and start typing when you're ready. About 20 more seconds. Okay, go ahead and stop. So you guys who are in class aren't gonna, oh, well, before we do this next step, I wanna ask you to take just a few seconds while I'm getting this next bit up. Just look back through what you've written and see if anything jumps out at you, like capitalization errors, or maybe where you forgot a period, punctuation, any word spelling you might want to change. Just take a minute and go back and read through what you've written so far. Okay, so in my Zoom class, Trinity B, are you there? Are you able to hear me? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. So you guys in class, I can't project this because I'm projecting off two different things, but I have a spinner wheel. It's kind of like a game show wheel. And I'm going to spin it. And Trinity, you're going to hit your thumbs up when you want me to stop, when you want me to hit stop, and the wheel will stop. And whatever it lands on, we're going to make that revision to our writing. Okay, so Trinity, I'm going to go ahead and hit spin, and then you give me a thumbs up, Trinity B, when you want me to stop. Oh, it's going to stop. There. Okay, you guys got a good one there. All right, so add a descriptive adjective is what it stopped on. So look back through your writing and find a place where you can add a really great adjective. Adjectives are words that describe a noun, right? So adjectives are things like big, small, those kind of things, but try to think of something interesting. This probably won't work, but like words, I love words like squishy or gigantic, or, you know, like something that's got a little oomph to it. So look back through and see if you can add a really great descriptive adjective to your work. Okay, and when you're done, there's a Canvas assignment called Quick Write. And so go ahead and just cut and paste your text into that Canvas assignment and submit it. And you have submitted your first grade for this 9 weeks. And if you follow those steps, you'll get a really great grade. So go ahead and do that as soon as you've added your adjective. You guys on Zoom, if you could give me a thumbs up once you've submitted your assignment so I know y'all are done. And then you guys just, when you're done, kind of look like you're done. Don't start doing something else so that I know everybody's done. Is anybody still cutting and pasting or submitting? Awesome. Okay. So I want to talk for just a second about what are some of the benefits of doing kind of a quick write activity like that, where you're given something, you have to think about it, and you have to write about it pretty quickly. Yes.
Because that's basically what we're going to be doing, like the expository essays.
Yep, it is pretty much what we do when we're in a testing situation and we're giving a writing prompt. So absolutely, it's good to practice it. What else? What other kind of benefits are there to getting good at doing these kind of things? Are there other areas of our lives where we're going to have to do this kind of thing outside of the essays that we write for EOC? College, absolutely. Yep. Jobs. When you're interviewing for a job, you're asked questions and you have very short think time before you need to give a thoughtful response, right? Have any of you been in theater, or are you in theater now and you have to do improv, where they give you a scenario or they give you a situation and you have a few seconds to think about it, and then you have to respond with something that's interesting and intelligent and expresses your thoughts? There's a lot of situations where we're asked questions and put on the spot to respond. And so these kind of things where you have just a few seconds to think and then you need to formulate a good coherent response, that works a different part of your brain than when you have a project that you have like days or weeks to work on and you can kind of spread it out and you don't have to think about it all at once. So, so look at this as kind of a brain building skill as well. The better you can get at formulating intelligent responses to prompting questions, the easier you'll find it to be to talk to people in general. And whether it's a job interview or a college professor or on a written piece of work that you have timed, okay? So when we have these kind of activities in class, like try to get better at it. Each time, try to think, okay, what's something I can try to do a little differently maybe this time than I did last time? Can I add some descriptive language, or can I add something that's a little more interesting, or a different personal example, and that kind of stuff? Okay. But we also do projects that are spread out and take longer. And so that's what I want to talk about next is part of our English 2 curriculum is a research. I'm going to use the word project, but I don't want to use it to scare you. But a research project where we choose a topic of interest and we take our time between now and the next, however long it takes us. It'll take us into fourth quarter because we're going to do it just little by little by little. And we're going to research it and formulate some of our own thoughts about a topic. So what we're going to do today, or the last part of what I want you to work on today, is a topic selection, okay? So what I want you to do is just brainstorm some possible topics that might have something interesting you want to research about. So for example, when I say topic, I don't mean you have to know your whole research question. We're not developing a whole research question. We're just thinking about big topical areas that are interesting to you that you might want to research. So for example, if you're interested in photography, that's a topic, photography. We don't know yet what we're going to research about photography, but there might be something in the area of photography you want to research. Or if you think you want to be a veterinarian someday and like horses interest you. Okay, so horses, that's a big topic, right? We don't know what yet, but it's a topic. So I want you to think about 3 to 5 topics that you might be interested in learning something more about that topical area. And there's a discussion question in Canvas. So just list your topics that you come up with that are there. Okay, so that's the first part of this brainstorming. Now the second part is we're going to help each other try to formulate what about that thing might be interesting to look into. So once you've posted your 5 topics, you'll be able to see what other people have posted. And you're going to just read what other topics people have posted and think about what might be interesting to research about those topics, and pick 2 to respond to their post with a possible research question. So we're posting our own topics and then looking to see what other people post and helping them out by answering their topic post with a possible research question. So for example, if one of my topics posted was the Olympics, because I've always been interested in the Olympics, that's a topic. And then you read my post and you're like, the Olympics, oh yeah, I wonder how they come up with sports to add to the Olympics. You're gonna type in there, how do they come up with sports to add to the Olympics? It's just a possible idea. And so then when you go back and you read through what your classmates' questions are, we're going to use that to maybe help spur your own thinking to think about what you could research in that area. Okay. Ultimately, even though we're doing like 3 to 5 and we're going to have several questions, we're only doing one ultimate one. So we're going to narrow down through this process. But for today, 3 to 5 topics in the discussion question. Once you've posted, read through what other people have done and think about some questions you could use to help them out to narrow their research. Does that make sense? Okay, and that assignment is in Canvas. It's called Brainstorming Topics, I think is what I called it. So you don't have to get that done like right now during class period. If you want to think about it for a bit, that's fine. And even if you put 3 to 5 topics and we go through that, next time when I come back and we talk about this again, if you're like, you know what, since I did that assignment, I've been thinking I'm really interested in looking into the history of the American flag. I want to change it. That's fine. We're not married to what we type in today. Okay, makes sense? So if you could do those things, if you want to get a jump on the next lessons, you can. If you have other things you want to work on for school, you are welcome to do that. My Zoom students, don't jump off just yet, because I think a couple of you came on that may not have heard me say before that if you didn't write the essay for Q2, please check your assignment list, because I have assigned to students who I don't have an essay for an essay assignment, because that grade is actually a major grade for this quarter. So I know there's a couple names on this call that I see that are in that situation where you need to go ahead and do that essay. So please make sure you check your assignment list. And if you have any questions, we can chat about that. But otherwise, Zoom kiddos, you are free to leave class if you feel good that you understand what's expected and what we're doing. And yeah, and make sure you do the attendance form if you haven't, so that you get attendance credit for the class.